In November 2010, Xseed released their second Ys game, Ys the Oath in Felghana, which is a complete reimagining of Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys. The Oath in Felghana was originally created for the PC, believe it or not, before being ported over to the PSP 5 years later. I've always been a huge fan of the Ys series, and I love being able to play the series on the go. I can't tell you how excited I am for Ys 8, which will hit both the PS4 and Vita sometime in 2017. Although, if I'm being honest, I'm most likely going to go for the PS4 version of that specific release, only because apparently the frame rate is significantly improved upon the Vita original. Okay, let's get back on track here. From the research I did on this game, it appears that Xseed actually paid for a fan translation of The Oath in Felghana, which was based on the PC version of the game. That's quite interesting, and apparently it was done to keep costs low considering the expected low sales of the game. The voice acting is also something that I was kind of surprised by. I didn't remember just how much voice acting was in the game. And speaking of the game, it takes place roughly 3 years after the events of the first two games, where we see Adol Kristen and his friend Dogi returning to Dogi's hometown of Redmont, located within the nation of Felghana. Count McGuire has been in charge of the nation for the past 20 years, and a large and colorful cast of characters are none too pleased with his actions. What initially starts off as a quest to help the locals turns into much more, and even almost personal by the time the game's credits roll. There are a few elements that I really enjoyed with this game. For one, thanks to all the spoken dialogue, I loved how Adol is narrated by someone else. So this is a tale that's being told after the fact. It makes it feel that much more epic and retains the series' legacy for making Adol speechless. It works exceedingly well. Another is the phenomenal soundtrack that blends orchestrated melodies with hard rock. It's just fantastic. The game's look is also super impressive. Overall, I think I just loved the audiovisual presentation and art design, just really all came together supremely well. The gameplay is naturally evolved from the earlier games. Here you take full control of Adol. This means the gameplay is much more akin to something like the Legend of Zelda series than Ys 1 and 2. Adol can also find magical bracelets that grant him special abilities. One lets him shoot fireballs, another perform a dash attack, and finally the third one allows him to perform a whirlwind attack. Thanks to an in-game upgrade system, you can also power up your weapons, your armor, and shield by visiting a smithy. If you locate special gems, you can also power up your bracelets. In a very short amount of time, Adol becomes a true force to be reckoned with. Adol can also enhance his abilities by making use of boost mode, which is triggered by pressing the triangle button. Once the boost meter is filled, you can activate boost mode, and all damage is halved, while offensive abilities are greatly enhanced, well, for a short period of time at least. As the game progresses, boost mode also restores some of Adol's health. The combat system doesn't end there though. As you continue to defeat one enemy after another, you can rack up what are called droughts. These are special items that award Adol with special bonuses to his statistics. You can see it in the video after every couple of fights I do. It makes chaining attacks together even more satisfying. There is one big annoyance I had with this game though, and that's the lack of dungeon maps. I'm not sure why that design choice was made, but I feel it was really the wrong decision. One highlight with dungeons though, is the fact that there are some amazing boss fights. The Ys series is known for having some truly over-the-top boss battles, and The Oath in Felghana is no exception. One interesting feature is that if you die repeatedly at an encounter, you have the option of lowering the difficulty for just that one specific boss fight. And you can do this repeatedly until the boss is a complete pushover. Purists will ignore said feature, but it certainly helps new players ease into the series. See what I did there? Speaking of difficulty, there are a wide assortment of difficulty options for players to really start where they want to start. The game is perfectly balanced too. There's also a New Game Plus mode which grants all sorts of bonus features. In short, there's a lot of reasons to keep playing this once you finish it the first time around. If you're interested, the game can be had for $17 Canadian on Steam, on the PlayStation Store for $14.99, and finally on UMD for a used copy of around $35 or so. This is a fantastic game and it comes highly recommended.